Hey guys, time for another video. This time I'm going to try to clean some G10. I don't know if this will show it very well, but my orange G10 is starting to get pretty dirty. Um, you know, yeah, this camera doesn't really pick it up all too well, but in person this is very darkened. Last night I was out in the rain. I actually went on a 22-mile walk with one of my friends. It took us like, I don't know, like 6 hours from, I think it was like 10:30 at night to 6 in the morning. Yeah, we were just bored. That's all you can do in the country. Anyway, so I'm going to use some Mr. Clean magic erasers on this. I've seen this method done before, but I've never tried it. Hopefully this works with the kitchen scrubber version. Couldn't find the regular kind. But hey, on the plus side, it's orange scent for my orange knives. So hey, maybe that'll work pretty well. So let's just cleanse this. Loving this thing, by the way. Yeah, definitely going to be carrying this for quite a while until it's time to review. Yeah, so the instructions said to wet this and then squeeze it a couple times. So we're going to do that now. This is probably just going to be a one-take video. I mean, I honestly don't feel too much like editing these videos. Maybe eventually if I get some video that's longer, requires more parts, but yeah, for the most part they're just going to be straightforward. So I'm just going to work this in. Already it's starting to look cleaner on my end. I mean, it doesn't really show up very well through the camera, but you know, take my word for it, this is actually working really well. I'm actually really impressed by this. And that orange scent is definitely coming through. It'll be nice to have orange scented orange knives. Just gonna try to wipe this down real quick. See how it came out. Oh, by the way, these are my G10 Swiss Army knives that I put scales on myself. Maybe after I clean this up I'll make a video on them. Yeah, these are definitely a lot cleaner than it was. That didn't take any time at all. And now let's try the Executive. That's the classic. This is the Swiss Army knife Executive. Really like this thing, by the way. Not a very common model for people to carry in my experiences. I haven't really seen too many people with them. I'm sure people do, but probably not so much the people who make videos or take pictures and post them on the internet. But, you know, to each their own. Probably going to ramble quite a bit throughout this whole thing. Honestly, it's gotta fill the time somehow. Maybe I'll talk about that walk I did last night, this morning, whenever it was. Yeah, wipe this off real quick. Yeah, anyway, the walk last night, my friend, he's in college right now, he's 3 years older than me. He was telling me about how he'd walked from his college campus back to his house. He goes to the college in our state, the one that's relatively close to where we live. And yeah, it's about 16 miles, and he said one night he was just bored, so he decided to walk home and get some rest there, because he had a long weekend ahead of him. He didn't have a car, and it was sort of a spur-of-the-moment thing. And he really liked it. He said it was a really cool experience. And yeah, I thought that was really cool, and I always wanted to do that with him. So last night we were like, hey, you know, want to hang out? One thing leads to the next, and we're like, you know what we should do? We should go on a nice walk. Oh yeah, that's nice and clean now. Sweet. So now this will have a nice fitting scent when I'm peeling oranges. Anyway, time for the urban. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, so we just decided to go to a mountain that's about 9 miles if you took the shortest way from my house. Anyway, we decided to do a little bit longer of a walk to the mountain. It's barely a mountain. I don't know if there's like qualifications for becoming a mountain, but this thing certainly wouldn't, you know, be the most mountainous mountains. You can literally walk up it maybe 15 minutes, get to the little peak, and then come back down. But Anyway, so it was about a 10-mile walk there, but we ended up getting lost because they didn't have any street signs near one of the routes we were taking, and so we ended up tacking on an extra 2 miles, going in a different way we knew. And so by the time we get there, it was, let's see, we left at 10:30 at night. We got there, I think it was around 1:30 in the morning, and we were way too tired, our feet hurt, so we were like, yeah, maybe maybe climbing this mountain is not a good idea right now. And so we decided to walk back the shorter way, which is only about 9 miles, and then no, that one's about 9.5. It was like 12.5 to the mountain, so about 22 round trip. Yeah, and so we're walking. You know, people are out doing their thing, which is to say they were honking at us from their cars, which, you know, very annoying late at night when you expect people to be asleep and you just kind of want to walk to get away from everybody, which is pretty much what we were doing. And oh, that G-10 looks nice. Definitely cleaner. I carried this thing last night and it got all the dyes, I guess, from my pants that got sort of damp in the humid air. But anyway, to wrap up the story, yeah, 22-mile walk. Carried this thing with me. Carried my whole EDC with me. It actually gave me some good testing for flashlights. Maybe I'll do a flashlight review soon. Used this a couple times just to sort of pair fruit we had with us, and yeah, we got stopped by a cop around around 3 in the morning. I guess there have been some car burglaries in the next town over. We went through 3 towns to do this. But yeah, so he was just, you know, hey, what you guys doing out? Making sure we weren't breaking into cars. Took our names down in case anything did happen. They could check with us just to see if we knew anything about it. Make sure it wasn't us, which I understand. You know, the cop was a nice guy. My buddy is a real flashlight enthusiast, and you know, I guess while I finish this story, I'm just gonna do some nice shots of this thing because I love this knife so far. Yeah, my buddy's a flashlight enthusiast, and the cop comes out with his flashlight. Immediately, he goes, "Oh, dude, what kind of flashlight you got?" The cop just goes, "A bright one. Now I need to see some ID." And that was, you know, sort of before we got to talking, kind of explaining what we were doing out there. So he had every right to kind of be like, you know, no time for silly games. Give us your ID. Turns out he had a Surefire, it was like a Stinger, I think is what he said. Anyway, he was a nice guy. Had his canine with him. You can hear the dog barking in the background. But yeah, we showed him our little direction itinerary. He was like, alright, you know, just make sure you're safe out there. Be on your way. We'll just take down your names if anything happens, just to make sure it wasn't you. Yeah, so that was fun. Got in about 4:30 in the morning. My feet just blistered all to hell. Oh man, it's tough to walk today. But it was fun. People need to do stuff like that. Spontaneous walking arounds, I guess. Quickly, one thing I noticed about this knife, the pocket clip isn't very polished, which almost gives it a nice subdued, anti-reflective, or anti-glare, you know, doesn't make big sparkles. When the sun hits it, it just kind of shines a little bit, which is just nice. Kind of cool, I guess. But yeah, this thing, loving it. Try to show the half stop real quick, if that'll focus in. As you can see, that little notch right there, it's barely into this thing, and creates that little half stop, which is cool. I like that feature on this. Anyway, now I'm just rambling. So overall, magic erasers, these things work very well. G10 is very clean right now. Yeah, so that's cool. Awesome. And I have another one, and can definitely reuse this. Just gotta wet it again. I don't know what towel this was. I just had it laying around. It worked for drying. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Please comment, subscribe, anything you want. Spread the word. And thank you to the people who have already subscribed. It's more than I ever expected in the first week alone. I mean, like 10 in less than a couple days. Yeah, so thank you guys.